What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. And if you couldn't tell by the title, I am currently in Japan. I just decided to make this video talking about like my first few months and how things are going, basically what I think people should do if they're gonna come, or just kind of like my experience of being here so far. I wanted to do one about like my first week, but I didn't really get to it. Maybe because part I was a bit lazy, or I was quite busy because of what I'm doing here. So I just wanted to talk about a few things. I've jotted down some points here about things I would like to talk about. They're kind of just like heads up maybe type of thing, and also just talking about myself. Currently, I feel like ever since COVID, traveling to Japan has been as popular as ever. It's such a desirable place to go to for a trip, and I don't blame them. But I just feel like so many people come to maybe not just Japan but other countries without knowing a sense of maybe the language first. Of course, maybe certain like few phrases like hello, thank you, excuse me, things like that. And it's not, those aren't bad, those are great, it's better than nothing. But I feel like one of the things that people should do when they come to especially Japan, at least be a little familiar with the language in some kind of way. Not only will it make navigating easier, but it'll also enhance your experience of being here because you're able to maybe connect with certain people. And what I mean by connecting is like, you're able to maybe kind of talk to them, right? And it always just makes it so much better when you're able to talk to people there because you feel not one with them. It's hard to explain, but like, you know, you're not a total alien to them, if that makes sense. So I just feel like learning some Japanese or just getting some familiarity with the language before you come is a lot better. So you're not just looking at a menu and just pointing. You can at least say something when you're pointing. I don't know, I just feel like learning a bit more would make it so much better. On top of that, if you're interested in learning that language, you don't really know where to start or what to do, I did make a video when I talked about my experience with the JLPT, which stands for the Japanese Language Proficiency Test. And in that video, I kind of explained what I did for me learning Japanese. So if anyone's interested, you can go check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. And maybe one of those little things that pops up here on the screen, if I can figure out how to do that. The second thing is, if you're traveling here alone, and of course it depends on how long you're gonna be here and what you're doing and who you are, it will probably be very lonely for you. And especially if it's hard to say especially if you're gonna go to Tokyo, because if you come to Tokyo, you are just one out of the millions of people that you're going to see. And if you don't have somebody to go with you, or at least somebody to see, Japan will become very lonely for you. I found that for me. I've only been here for like a few weeks. I have made some connections before coming to Japan, but not all of them were in Tokyo. And not all of them, let's say the ones that are in Tokyo, I'm not able to quite meet up with them. So with that in mind, I've just been kind of like doing my own thing, and it's been kind of lonely, not gonna lie. And just saying, like, if you had somebody to travel with you, whatever you're doing, or at least had somebody to meet, then that would make it so much better because you're at least able to travel with them. One thing I would suggest is you can make some friends by downloading this app called HelloTalk. This app is an app that I used when I started learning Japanese. It's basically an app where you connect with people around the world who are learning the same language as you. So example, for me, I would connect with Japanese people learning English so we could like exchange languages. And so you basically just message them and, you know, become friends. So I feel like that's one of the ways you could do that, so that you would have somebody to maybe hang out with, if that makes sense. Also, if you're doing something like I am, like say for me, this is my next point, but I'm going to a language school. And so if you're doing something similar to that, where you're going to a school or maybe work, make friends. Because if you don't, you're gonna just, again, like I said, it's gonna be so lonely. Connecting to what I said about what I'm doing here is, I'm going to a language school, but I'm also doing a homestay. And first, I'm just going to touch on the language school just a little bit because I want to make a separate video like specifically about the school that I'm going to. But basically how I got it set up with it is I went through Gogo Nihon, very popular choice for people who are coming to move here to maybe work, study, live in Japan. They basically help you with all the paperwork and everything that needs to be done. It makes it so easy. Like all I had to do was just message them, tell them what I kind of wanted, and give them the information that is like necessary, like say like your ID, your passport, stuff like that like you need to like enter Japan. Then they will help you with the whole process, and they basically just do it for you. And so they set you up with the school of your choice and also help you with accommodation as well, which the one I chose was homestay. The reason why I chose a homestay was because not only would I be learning Japanese at school and also just being in Japan, but I could also practice that Japanese and my listening and speaking skills from time to time at home, right? And I feel like if you don't do a homestay and you live in an apartment or a share house, I mean, your share house, they might be Japanese, but if you're living in like an apartment or somewhere where there's not many other people, then you're not gonna have many opportunities to practice your Japanese. So say if you're living in an apartment by yourself, the only point where you'll probably be able to use your Japanese and practice and exercise it, like speaking and listening, is probably gonna be at school. And maybe at a restaurant or some places that you'll go out, right? But most of the time, you're going to be in your own little space because you're by yourself. I realize that I'm emphasizing a lot about not trying to be alone, which I mean is fair. So try to make some connections. But yeah, I'm doing a homestay. My homestay is really great. As you can tell, this is my room. It's pretty cool. It's actually quite like traditionally themed, which is really cool. But I live in a homestay with a few siblings and a mom, and it has been really great so far. And again, just like a homestay, just like finding a school, Gogo Nihon helped me find a accommodation as well, like homestay. However, they connect with a separate company. So Gogo Nihon is its own thing to help you find a school, but they also connect you with homestay in Japan, which is another program. So they kind of like link together with you, and from there they will help you find a homestay. Lastly, I'll just end off with just a few things that surprised me about Japan. Now, many people might know already the culture in Japan and how they're so like respectful and, you know, disciplined. And it is so true that I've been here so far. And whenever like I would be in a train station, you know, there's a lot of people. Here's one example. One of the stations that I go to, there's like relatively a big staircase that's meant for people going down. And then there's like, I think one escalator to go up. And these people, you will maybe see one or two people go up the ones that's only meant for people going down. But that's not, like, there's barely any people that do that. Instead, what people do is, I guess it's the people who are not in so much of a hurry, they'll stand on the left side, so like they like just stand and the escalator takes them up and people just line up, and then they'll leave the right side space empty for people to walk up, okay? But the thing is that if they're lining up on the left side, this line will go so long. Like, it's hard to really describe it, but like the line to stand on the left side, like to let people pass, people will line up even like feet before even like the actual escalator starts. I don't know, I just felt like that was crazy to me, that people are like so disciplined in the sense that like they will not take a certain thing of stairs for their convenience, but rather follow the rules. I just thought that was crazy because obviously where I'm from, North America, people would definitely just use the stairs, right? As if like there's no rules. The second thing that surprised me was that this might just be a peeve of my own, but like from where I come from, like North America, Canada, I was taught that when you cough or sneeze, you always do it into your elbow. That may not have been the case for everybody. People here, if they're coughing or sneezing, they literally do it directly into their hand. Now, again, that just might be a personal like thing, or like to me, like, because how I think, if you're going to sneeze or cough, you always do it into your elbow because you're not doing it into your hand, right? Where you're gonna touch everything. but it just really surprised me that people here do that. Like, they just use their hand. I don't know, I just thought that was pretty interesting. So if you're maybe a germaphobe, keep that in mind. You know, if you're on the train and you're holding on to one of the things that keeps you stable, maybe keep that in mind. Lastly, the trains. So I don't live in Tokyo. I live in Saitama, which is just a prefecture just right next to Tokyo. But my school is in Tokyo. And I'm pretty sure the trains in Japan are known to be like the best, like for like efficiency, being on time, and just the simplicity maybe. I mean, well, I say that because I'm used to it, which I can also make another video on that of how it works. Trains are the best and they're amazing. However, not so often, but there will be time, like they're not always 100% on time, which is not a problem. I'm not complaining at all, like nothing. I'm just like a heads up for people who might like say, oh, well, why isn't it on time, right? They're supposed to be the best. And they're not delayed by like 10 minutes. Like it's always ever like 1 minute, 2 minutes, maybe 4. It's never really that long. And sometimes there's like an electrical issue or just, you know, normal day-to-day problems with the trains. But just know that not all the time they will be 100% on time on the dot. But that being said, they're still like so reliable, they're amazing, and they're still super efficient. So just thought I'd say that. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope this was maybe helpful or entertaining to anybody, to any of you guys. I would like to make some other videos about being here in Japan. If this kind of thing is interesting, be sure to let me know by maybe leaving a comment or leaving a like. And I'll see you guys next one, Lord willing. Peace. Also, one last thing. If you're coming during the summer like I am, please be prepared. It is so hot. It is so humid here. So bring a water bottle, bring a sweat rag. Like my host mom bought me one and I've used it quite a bit, and because it gets super hot and sweaty. So keep that in mind if you're coming here during the summer. It is quite hot and humid and you will sweat. So yeah.